Yeah, it's the generator. The one which I set on fire, if some of you may recall. A couple of people wanted to see this and I was going on about it. I have to make this quick because I've rambled for forever and I've only got 57 minutes of recording time left, and I'm sure I can easily talk for 47 minutes, but I'm not going to put you through that, and plus I'd probably be waiting. If I was to record for 47 minutes, it would take me 47 days to upload it. Anyway, we're going to quickly talk about this generator. I say quickly, you're going to be here for fucking days, I promise you. Anyway, first things first, it is still working. I have had to replace spark plug wire. You see that one on there now is actually an HT leader for the carb modified to fit that coil. You just unscrew the old one, you can screw a new one on, so that's alright. What else has happened to it? The carb is completely kerfuffled. It's kerfuffled. But to be honest, if you could attach something to that throttle plate, and then you'd have to choke it manually every time you start it, because the throttle plate was, well, the linkage on the top of the throttle shaft was melted, as well as the choke. So yeah, I was thinking, oh yeah, I've got another Honda carb liner, which happens to be for a GX200 engine. I got it, and it turns out I actually replaced the throttle shaft on it to make it compatible for that little engine, because the throttle works the opposite way around on there. So when I first put this carb on there, it wouldn't idle, it was only revving its nut off. And when I modified it to run for that engine, I didn't keep the parts, unfortunately. So now if I put this on this engine, it'll only idle. So I know I like an idling engine, but unfortunately, when a generator isn't the kind of thing you want to idle, because you'll turn on your hairdryer and of course it's gonna cut out. Anyway, it's not your hairdryer you need to worry about, it's your curling iron, because of course they use more power than a hairdryer does. Not that I know my hair isn't long enough. It's not like I've ever tried. I'm sure I haven't. Anyway, so I was thinking you can just buy the linkages just for the top of the carb. They're only about £5. I thought, why not just treat it to a brand new carb, brand new air filter box? Because this one, a bit melted. Actually, you look, that could still bolt on. They could still put an air filter in there, but it's plastic and it's got hot. Hot plastic doesn't react too well. I wouldn't say it's warped, but if you look at it, that's not so much warped, it's actually just melted, and the whole thing has just changed its shape due to actually melting. Physically, parts of it have turned to liquid, and it's just kind of run away, so that's what's happened there. So it's not warped, it's just melted, completely knackered. You see it melt on the other side. So that, I think, I'm absolutely positively sure I should put this in the bin. So there you go, you can go in the bin. Actually, I only came out from a multimeter, but I thought I might make a video of the generator whilst I'm here. So I'm going to buy a brand new carb, and I'll have 2 spares, which is always handy. I mean, these have got both. They both have good bodies. This one's got a sediment boner fuel tap, which all still works. This carb would work on an engine, but only on that engine, which is fucked. It has no compression, and I'm positive it has a stripped thread for one of the head bolts, I'm sure. So, I mean, that's working fine. This one sounds pretty much identical. A little bit of a lower tone though. Ooh, don't know. So, yeah, other than that, it's good. Quick shout out to Vidman88, because you've done 1 million for me, so it's about time I did one for you. The pull starts on these engines, if everyone looks at them, the best thing would be for your pull start to actually poke out the side, so you can actually pull it, you know. But no, what they go and do is, oh bother, you can't get your pull start unless you pull it outwards, which does present a problem. This problem being that you can't pull it directly up or forwards or whatever, because you're going to hit something. You have to pull it out at an angle which will rub it against the housing, which does this, and also rubs against the hollow rivet, which I put through here. It is basically just hollow rivet, so there's no sharp edge for it to go. Oh my god, hang on, sorry. I don't know if anyone can see that on my hand. But see where it kind of goes in and it looks like a funny shape? Well, how that's because my muscles in my hand are just tensed up. Hang on. Ah. How comes it's doing it again? It doesn't usually do that. It doesn't. It's doing it again. It keeps doing it repeatedly. Really annoying. It's not painful. It's just the most irritating feeling you can ever explain. Just rub it against your leg, Jason. That'll fix it. It will. Every time I put my hand straight, it just tries to put it back in again. It's annoying. Anyway, so yeah. Going back to this. Well, there is. I've figured two solutions. One of them is a quick bodge repair. When your generator is like this, the ideal position you want to be pulling it is directly up, like so. You can see mine's also starting to fray. I need to replace mine. It's going to go soon. But they actually point them facing this way, so you actually have to pull them this way, which is actually quite an uncomfortable position to be wanting to pull something when it's down low. If it was this level, I mean, that's the ideal position. You want to yank it out this way. Even though I actually did have that up on here, and I tried to do that, and I don't know what it did, but something, like my neck clicked, but very, very unpleasant even. So that was a funny 5-minute experience. It didn't go away for 5 minutes. Enough of my medical conditions now. That's 2 of them you've heard of so far. So what I did is I've rotated mine around by about, I think about 15 or 30 degrees, something like that. It's just been rotated around by moving it around on its holes, because it's rotationable. It's rotationable. What the fuck is that? It's rotatable. So this has 6 mounting points on here, and there's also 6 on the cowling. So it's adjustable by that, and also the fact that, well, there is actually one little problem, is that only 3 of these holes on here have a nut welded to the back, which doesn't actually matter. You only need those 3. The other ones on there don't really serve much purpose. So anyway, mine's rotated around, so now it points directly up, which now gives you the added advantage that it is just easy to pull up. But that still has the fact that you have to pull it outwards away from the pull starter. So if I was to imitate me turning this over, it's a little bit harder. It's not going to pull it out of the hole straight up. It's coming at an angle like towards this way. So it rubs against it, which is also bad for it. So my solution, my 100% fail-safe solution, so that you can pull it directly upwards, more or less, you probably will bash your knuckles to fuck though, is to undo these bolts, remove your fuel tank, and bolt on a Honda fuel tank in there, just onto the brackets in there. And then, hey presto, of course I'll remove these things if you have them. You can put it directly up through where the old fuel tank used to be, through the middle. You could maybe modify the frame in some shape or some description. Maybe cut this off or cut a section out, lower this end down, do whatever, so that you can actually be able to get your pull start without bashing your knuckles. Otherwise you're going to bash it on here as you pull your pull cord up. But yeah, that's my other solution. It's a fair amount of work just to be able to save your pull cord. It's more of a way of, it's just a way of, well, it's for convenience really, so that every 6 months you don't have to replace your pull cord. You just have to spend a few hours cutting, welding, grinding, sanding and spraying. But if you're going to do it, you may as well spray paint it again after when you're done. For Christ's sake, do a job properly so it doesn't rust. Anyway, so yeah. And also I need to get my bike fixed because I've got a fucking puncture yet again. So anyway, yeah, and also have to fix my friggin' fuel cap. Fuel gauge. I just fixed this and then it caught fire and buggered it up again. But hey, that's sod's law for you. It can go back in its hole. But it also has wheels now, which is what I was originally trying to do. But oh yeah, I can't put my Honda tank on there at the moment because the brackets which hold it, well, one of them is snapped off because I tried to use a hammer to separate the generator from the engine, which went down like a sack of shit. That did. It wasn't a good plan. It just snapped the bracket straight off after one hammer blow. And that was the little hammer. I have a bigger hammer somewhere. It's not actually my hammer, but I've claimed it as my own. Quickly, I've changed the plug in it as well, so we'll quickly show you this plug. I can't show you up close because it just goes blurry like so, so if I come over here and stand like where this paddle hoil is next to the door and I zoom, you can get a nice clear shot of that. It is a crap cheap plug. It's now got an NGK one. It's a plug which was pulled out of a car. It's the same thread type and everything. But yeah, this is a Bono. Which of course it's not going to focus. There it is. Bono. F6TC. Oh sorry, I was looking at it through the screen. There's no excuse for not being able to read, Jason. Anyway, so, yep, that's crap. That can go in the bin too. Actually, no, I won't, because if I ever do I do often do repairs on people's lawnmowers, and they're often cheapskates. Do you want a new plug, or do you want a second-hand plug? And I can just whack that in there for them. It's newish, just so I've got stuff lying around. It's always good to have spare stuff lying around anyway. There's still a fucking builder that owes me 20 quid for fixing his whacker plate, which I had to repair again, because, well, we borrowed it. He said the carb was fucked, it was doing all kinds of different stuff, it would only run in choke. And then halfway through the day it conked out working at all because nobody had checked the oil in it. Topped up the oil, rebuilt the carb, works somewhat again even though it smokes like a son of a bitch. And in our infinite wisdom, I didn't want to put it in the lockup because we've already got a lot of stuff in there, so I left it outside, then it snowed. Then it melted, then it snowed, then it melted, then it rained, and it froze, and the tank filled with water. So I spent yesterday lunchtime draining it. Brilliant fun, hey? So anyway, I'm going to leave you at that. I'm going to go inside and do some video editing, go on Carbon, and generally make lots of noise before I go to bed. How fun is that? Oh, also I changed my bulb today, so it's actually a fair bit brighter in here. Even though it was fairly bright before, but this is a Bosch bulb. Oh yes, we go like Bosch. Bosch is the bollocks.